So Wikipedia has been a tool for as long as I've been on the internet. Like, I was born in 1998 and I started using the internet and I started going on the computer when I was in primary school, right? During the mid 2000s. And one website that has been around for an extremely long time has been Wikipedia. It has been around for as long as I can remember. It has been the source, and it is currently and has mostly been the source of information for the internet. Whenever you want to go and search something up, whenever you want to go look something up, there's no other place to go but to Wikipedia. And for a long time, for all of Wikipedia's existence, it has mostly been funded by donations and it is edited by the people. So it is an encyclopedia for the internet, by the internet, is pretty much what it is. And it is funded by the people as well. And it has come out recently about where Wikipedia has been putting all of their money into, and a lot of people aren't happy with how Wikipedia has been spreading their money out, and it is very understandable why. So this is the budget goal of Wikipedia for 2023 to 2024, which they have just released not too long ago, and it started at least making its ways around the internet about 4 days ago. So they have put 86 million into infrastructure, and then 31 million into equity, as well as 20 million into safety and inclusion, and 39 million into effectiveness. Now, straight off the bat, when you see $31 million into equity, you all of a sudden, straight away, start like scratching your head over this, because you're like, 31 million into equity. Why does a website that's meant to be an encyclopedia for the truth about certain things that actually happen, not no biasy things, so why is equity being a part of this? Well, that is because Wikipedia has come out with what their movement is when it comes to this fundraising and where they are wanting to put their money towards. And they are very open about what this movement is and them funding this movement, because they don't want to decrease the funding within this movement whatsoever. As a matter of fact, they want to keep upping the amount of budget that they put into this movement. And they are very open about what this equity in their funding means. So if you go down a little bit on the Wikimedia page, it shows here. So Wikimedia is the company that owns Wikipedia. It's kind of like when it comes to the recent example I can think of is when it comes to TikTok. TikTok is owned by ByteDance. So ByteDance is like the parent company of TikTok, and they basically overlook everything and fund everything into it. So when Wikipedia was created and it became a massive conglomerate, then Wikimedia is like the parent company of Wikipedia and all like its other sections that they have under it. So if you look here, it says right here that equity, support knowledge equity, strengthen equity in decision making via movement governance and movement charter, empower and engage the movement, support regional strategies and help close knowledge gaps. And if you actually go into that and you look further in to how they define of what equity is and what this movement is, one of the sections here, it says gender, and it says this year the foundation will prioritize co-creating a shared agenda for gender organizers across the movement, looking to access targeted capacity building, technical support, and improve coordination with peer contributors and allies following initial consultants with movement actors and foundation staff. Aspirations for closing the gender gap include more frequent curated and facilitated governing spaces to share work, enhanced technical support for established gender organizers, more inclusive, gender equitable, and safe spaces to contribute intersectional content on women's biographs and material that women want to read. What does any of this have to do with an encyclopedia? If this has to do with a business that's trying to push a movement for something, then yeah, spend whatever your money on. But Wikipedia is meant to be an encyclopedia and a retelling of things that happened, not from the biasy of a movement, but from what actually happened. And them pushing this movement is just going to show that they are trying to shove disinformation in people's face, and they are trying to lean more towards when it comes to inclusion than actually telling the truth. And it is extremely hilarious because if you look in the other section when it comes to safety and inclusion, they talk about disinformation and how they are wanting to get rid of disinformation. It says, as Wikimedia projects are increasingly regarded as trusted sources of knowledge across the world, some politicians and governments
may have deliberate effects to discredit Wikipedia through disinformation campaigns in mainstream and social media. Yes, because you guys are relaying disinformation. And you might be saying, Donnie, well, you're saying that they're pushing this and they're funding this. Well, is there any good examples of what we can come up with when it comes to any of this disinformation? And there is. And the greatest example that I have when it comes to Wikipedia pushing this agenda, not even just in recent times, but for a long time now, was Gamergate. So if you don't know about Gamergate, it's something that originated back in 2014 to 2015. And what Gamergate actually was that it was a movement of gamers saying that we want to keep people's political biases out of video games. That's what we want. We don't want these political biases like you see in games now, such as in recent times when it comes to like Dragon Age the Valguard, where they're pushing this whole non-binary thing that no one really wanted and terrible writing just to push some kind of movement where people don't want that. That's what the original Gamergate was. But if you go onto Wikipedia and look at Gamergate, it's called a harassment campaign, and it says here in the first paragraph that Gamergate was a loosely organized misogynistic online harassment campaign and a right-wing backlash against feminism, diversity, and progressiveness in video game culture. No, it wasn't. Yes, there were some people that were claiming to be in the Gamergate movement that were 100% being discriminatory to the point where it's just like, you're not actually, trying to go what these people are saying, but you were actually just harassing people. There were that. But this whole entire article, picks out just those select people and frames the whole article that it was every single person that was putting out harassment campaigns against people in the video game industry that were women. But no, the majority of people weren't like that. It was only a small minority, but they made it out like the majority, and this Wikipedia page shows it so. And that is exactly what they are trying to do. This right here is proof that Wikipedia themselves do not care of when it comes to the truth, but they care more about funding equity and funding when it comes to political biases, which it should not be. There shouldn't be any political biases when it comes to the truth. And this is why a lot of people cannot trust Wikipedia these days. When it comes to stuff like retellings of historical events that don't have any political biases in it, or anything like that's got to do with science, say when it comes to how earthquakes form, I'm sure that the Wikipedia page for earthquakes is extremely accurate and all the sources are listed at the bottom. But when it comes to things that have more of a political bias in them, such as this Gamergate article, it is a great example that Wikipedia cannot be trusted. It's just like when it comes to the rest of modern day media. People are wanting to go away from modern day media, and Wikipedia just seems to be following that. Whereas a matter of fact, if they were smart, it should be beneficial for them to go against that grain, to actually be like, guys, we are the ones who are showing the truth and do not have any biasy when it comes to what actually happened in certain situations. And it's completely stupid. I hate the fact that they are going down this route. And I think that this is definitely, especially now that this has come out, a lot of people have begun to talk about this. And I 100% think with all this coming out, people should not be funding this. So if you are donating to Wikipedia, stop it. Because there shouldn't be any biases when it comes to an encyclopedia. It should just be a retelling and recount of what happened. But I would definitely like to hear what you guys think about all this down below. That is going to be it from me. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Peace out.